Let's take a look at time intelligence in Power BI. Let's get started. So taking a look here, we can see time intelligence is a major part of Power BI and something that you want to utilize pretty much all the time in almost every dashboard. Of course, you can have dashboards like this that kind of play that card or bar and column, but time intelligence is really the sweet spot. And typically, you will have requests from management or someone else to have some ability to go through time. So we can see that line charts are kind of the go-to for trends, as we can see here. It is the visualization that you're typically going to use is just the line chart. Of course, you can do different visualizations such as the area chart, stacked area chart, or even this one right here, which is kind of cool. You can even do bars, but we're going to talk about the line chart today. So the line charts are, you got some trends you're going through here. You can also go take a look at some analytics here. So maybe you just want to see the trend line. You can actually turn that on a line chart. So we can see that here. You can also format it under this add further analysis to your visual tab. And we'll just go ahead and choose that line chart real quick. And you can see it will form a trend. Now, I'm not sure if this is really enough data to form that trend, but you can see that at least you kind of see the trending value is up, and that's exactly what's going on with that trend line. So we'll go ahead and shut that off. We can also see that the line chart has some other things you can add to it, such as the min and max line. Maybe just you want an easier visual for your min, or maybe you want an easier visual for your max, and you want to put potentially a line area in here. You can also do that. So you can add the average line and you can add multiple lines in here. So if you want the average line, you can add that, and we'll add that line real quick under the add line over here. And if you ever just want to explore something, don't hesitate to just kind of come up here and collapse it and take a look at everything. Because that's really important if you're taking a look at this and seeing. Just click through stuff with the line chart and see exactly what's going on. So as you can see, there's tons of things here. Constants are good for like goals and doing things that are going to help you kind of set those up. But constants, you'll have to put in a value, of course, because of course you're trying to hit a goal, right? You can also add a little formula in there, conditional formatting for that. So line charts also can connect to your data. So like if you click to something, it will obviously update here. Obviously, you can't go year over year because we're clicking into something, right? So then you can do year over year totals and things like that. So now that we have an idea about how this line chart works, let's look at time intelligence year to date, last year, year over year percents. These are really the things that are really good for these type of charts. So like you have to have a date column typically running along your x-axis. Your y-axis would include your values that you're trying to show typically in your line chart. And you can see that date there, and then you can click on it and see different things. But I think the main thing is you have to have that. So time intelligence, very key when it comes to these line charts and being able to do that. So if you create this formula within your line chart, we see that you're bringing that formula in. We can click the data tab over here, and that data tab has your formula that's showing up. Total sales equals sum, financials table. You're summing the financials table sales column here, and that DAX measure. So that's what we're doing in here. We're also seeing that the year sales over year is 349%. With that being said, I mean, not much time has come over here. So this is maybe not the best example of that, but we can see what's being utilized over here. We see that the time intelligence being utilized, a sales year over year. We see we're using the divide total sales minus sales last year and sales last year. So what's that doing is if you use a divide, it's recommended to use that because it removes like issues with nulls and blanks and does it correctly. So that's how that's working. And then we also have our sales year to date, which is just this calculation right here, total year to date. There's actually a function for total year to date in here. You do total sales by the financials date. So it's going to pull that total year to date from those values that you can see right here, making it really easy to kind of bring that through and have a little KPI card here. These KPI cards are just right here, you can see, and you can leave them on there. So that's basically how those line charts work. Very simple. You just choose your line chart, you drag your stuff over here, you got your date column, your total sales, your sales last year, and once you get that up. So your year to date total sales, financial date, All that's there. So really good to see that all in one view. One thing that's kind of missing here that I'd say, you got your sales last year. Someone can click this and see their sales last year and their total sales. And we can see the sales last year is the calculate statement. So calculate total sales by the same period last year gives you that statement. And that's what we're seeing on those total sales there. So you can quickly kind of put these measures in a line chart and see some analysis that would otherwise be very tough to do. Um, Overlay current versus prior to show growth. So we have this overlay occurring the current year and prior year to kind of see that over time. One of the things I will say is it's kind of cool to just see stuff over time, and using this date column here, we can see time intelligence and all that is pulling from the date, and we can see the date table here. And that date table actually can be seen back over here in our model view. We can see that the dates are just pulling directly here from this point within the financials data set. This data set is actually provided by Microsoft when you log in, so anyone can access this data set, and it's kind of cool. But this is how line charts work, and really, it's really good for continuous time measures and seeing stuff how it changes over time. This one might be a little pointless, so let's say we don't like the sales last year, we can just remove it, and there you have it gone. You could kind of mess around and see what would happen if you try to break it. You can have a secondary access, doesn't really change much, Y access, and do some different things there. I think the main thing is you just want to have a really good clean chart with an average. You probably don't want to have the max in there or the min. It's kind of pointless or redundant, so we can remove those. Going back up into this area, and that is the add further analysis to your visual area, and then we're going to remove those back there, and we're just going to keep our average line. And one of the things you can do that not a lot of people may be aware of, you can actually make this a different color. It says average line 1. That's not the greatest, but you can shade below. You can also change the color. I like the orange color personally. So if you go to line color and you can change it to that orange color, I really like that. And then I like to go down and also add the labels. So you can add a label here of what it is. And maybe a request that you'll have is, I want to know both. So you can put average line 1 is this. But one thing that you might have come up is, why does it say average line 1? Well, you can go over here and edit that. That's just a default. And maybe you just wanted to say average. Click that. It shortens it up a bit. Now it says average. So those are some things you can do. Maybe you feel like the label is just too far back. You can do some different things there to make that label a little bit better, as you can see right here. Maybe you don't want to do that many decimal places, so you can just go down to none, or you can go down to thousands, or you can go down to all these other ones. And then I also would say that you probably want to get the position right. That's one of the things. You want to have it under just so people can read it. You can move it to the right. Those are your two options there. And it kind of just lets you move it around and seeing what you can do there. So, of course, we have some other things, like you could add the forecast. It's kind of a cool feature. There's not much of forecast you have here in regard to options. So, but it does let you kind of update some confidence intervals and do different things there if anyone is familiar with those things. So that's something you can do. So we maybe want to do 3 of a forecast here, see if we get anything. We're not getting anything, guys. So it's kind of a pointless forecast, to be honest. Yeah, we don't have enough data. Now, if you have a lot of 30 years of data, that might be a completely different thing, and you may actually get a really good forecast out of it. So I would not recommend using a forecast on data this short. You can try it, but it really comes out to about the same as the it's a little above the average, so you're going to stay here. So it's an interesting forecast because you see these seasonal dropouts. So that's probably what it's expecting and what it's seeing. So that's basically how it works. That's line charts, and that's how they work in Power BI. Leave a like if this is helpful, guys.